She wakes up with corpses lined on the window, wings beating against glass. Last night, they were in a frenzy to burn, in words and lights and thoughts. A moth perfectly formed, a faint trail of life still left inside. Is it the desire to live on that lingers, even in the smallest of things? Her wings are scarred too, for all that has to be done for survival, she has done just the reverse. Whatever that you do, day in and day out, your head bent in solitude. Whatever that you do that holds you in the world of living. Whatever that you do that makes you fearless, whatever that you do that creates beauty. As your pen scratches the surface of paper like nails digging on raw skin. Is this madness? A kind of madness forming? She must have hurt them deeply at some point by just being herself. She must have ripped and curled through their old wounds like leeches sucking through pain. Like a mad woman dancing in tandem. She must have been shocking to watch from a distance, with the enormity of her jaw and the enormity of her pain. At such times, she would imagine herself walking through woods, birds chirping, the smell of wet earth and foliage entwined, unending light, unending shadows, soft drizzle, grass stuck on muddy boots. There is a small hut at the edge of the forest, a dark room, a door that cannot be latched, the smell of rusted darkness, the feeling of unknown. She would hold the door back and begin to undress, naked flesh under layers of clothing, a trembling, a translucence, more like a burden, something that she needs to hide. And now, like a painting from some other world, she would stand before the mirror, tiny black dots all over her body, for she is covered in leeches, sucking through her blood. She's covered in leeches, sucking through her skin. They must have come in with the rain. In some perverse way, she would be drawn to this image, rubbing salt on her body, unearthly crystals, sharp like shards of glass burning. The leech shrivel like innards seeping out through silken skin. Gods are formed out of shedded skin, aren't they? Out of beautiful bodies being scrubbed of their cells. Only if she were a goddess and not a madwoman. What would she have made apart from scarring flesh? She has been warned that the time is nearer than she thinks, and yet something lingers inside her, a deep, deep loneliness. This moment, the forest, the foliage, the dying leech, slowly disengaging from her skin. A feeling of being lightly touched by some other world. A pore of life is throbbing around the edges. One last leech has escaped the salt. One last leech sucking on her breasts like a child in the making. This is where her gods live, unmade, unwritten, growing inside her throat like a lump, like a seed, like a flower, like something that should have become a forest, but has remained barren, wind-scarred, petrified. She walks out towards the woods again, and at some point, she knows the last leech would fall off her skin. Maybe in a few years, nourished by her blood, by the barren mesh inside her throat. All the cries, the whimpers, all the pain, all the laughter, all the silence, the cold, cold, cold silence, all those things that she would have shared with you. Perhaps this one last leech with the juice of her words written inside its swollen belly. Perhaps this one last leech would feed itself to the long grass, to the meadows, the barren trees. Would this be the beginning of a forest? A forest, a bird song, green, lush, fecund, unending, and inside, a mad woman dancing, dancing, dancing.